Ms. Jackson, you say Mr. Figures was a smooth-talking Casanova who swept you off your feet and out of your clothes and then left you with a baby.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim Mr. Figures disappeared 20 years ago, and now you want to prove that he is definitely your son, Daniil's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Figures, the smooth talker and runaway dad, is having his runaway dash ending in court today. He is caught in the claws of Ms. Jackson, who is trying to prove that his plans to run and abandon his child have been foiled. Let's hope he doesn't slip out of her fingers this time in the same slick way he swept her off her feet 20 years ago.
I couldn't take care of her. So my family actually told me, go, better yourself. Go to Job Corps, do what you need to do. And I looked for love in all the wrong places. I met him like on maybe a Friday or Saturday night. And when I saw him with the long, curly black hair, he was just so, I was stunned.
Ms. Jackson found love in all the wrong places. Mr. Smooth Talker must have played his role perfectly for him to make Ms. Jackson a very early mom at 16. Surely his physical looks must have made it very easy to fall for him. I mean, the dark-skinned, curly hair and tall physique must have aided in sweeping her off her feet. Must have been difficult to resist such a man.
So the bottom line, you all did have a sexual relationship, right?
Yes, we did.
So, Mr. Figures, you acknowledge that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You did. Did you use protection? Were you guys using protection at the time?
Well, no, ma'am.
Not using protection.
We didn't.
No.
All right, and so
I definitely know it wasn't just me.
Okay, interesting. Mr. Smooth Talker knew Ms. Slippery Feet wasn't having an affair with him alone. Still, he went on to not use protection. What must have been his game plan? To enjoy the slippery slope and walk gallantly out of her life? Or better still, run? So, now what? He's left her all alone to do the protection in the child's life. What a case.
Have these, call yourself little nicknames or whatever, right? So at that time, that was me. You see, she remember. So I had another friend also. His name was
Mustafa.
She got a good memory. So.
Oh, Mr. Smooth Talker has another name, Mr. Majestic. How regal that sounds. Ms. Slippery Feet does not know how to keep her secrets to herself. She playfully exposed Mustafa. I mean, having a Mustafa wouldn't have been so bad, but Mustafa is Mr. Majestic's friend. Very interesting. There's no friction here, and the slide is very slippery as it is. Nice.
When I found out, I thought I had a stomach virus or something. So when I went to the infirmary, they gave me a pregnancy test. I'm stunned. I'm actually in shock. I don't have my family. So I'm really trying to
But she also had
focus
another
on
guy that she was dealing with.
It must have been a very shocking revelation. To think she had a stomach virus only to find out she was pregnant. That's a very big pill to swallow, to be honest. But it shouldn't be difficult for her to believe. She has been sleeping with 2 friends unprotected, even muttering Mustafa's name to Mr. Majestic while they were at it.
dealing with someone, meaning he had my back. Don't meaning we having sex.
Come on, man.
It didn't come to, but the person that he's talking about, he even went to him and told him, she's carrying my baby.
Dealing with does not mean having sex? What a line. It definitely can get anyone out of a cheating web. Mr. Smooth Talker must have some trust issues for him to have approached someone Ms. Slippery Feet is dealing with to tell him she is carrying his baby. This show is the bomb.
I want to give Mr. Figures a chance to respond.
From my perspective of things, you have this friend that's in your life or whatever, and that's good. But at the same time, when you telling everybody that you dealing with this person, here it is a week later, you having sex with me again.
So you're dealing with a guy and you're still sleeping with Mr. Smooth Talker. Great. Mr. Smooth Talker has a problem with being the side guy, but he has to protect his ego more. Regardless of this, he did not use protection with Ms. Jackson anyway, so he has a lot in his pocket. It is only right for him to use some for his ego. Oh.
How has this affected you, young man?
We had hard times, rough times. We've been through thick and thin. And she always told me don't run from your problems, so I don't run from my problem. I stay with her through thick and thin.
Poor Daniel. The result of a slippery slide that took place 20 years ago? It must have been very hard growing up trying to figure out who his father truly is. With no dad to come watch you play sports or take you to the park to play. Not to worry, Judge Lauren is here to help you shed some light today.
Why is it taking the state of Georgia 20 years to even swap his mouth?
Yeah, and that wasn't my fault.
Oh, I'm not blaming him.
You ain't never taken the initiative to do anything.
Like I said, if I didn't know how to get in touch with you, how can I? I may have
so many social media networks here. You can find anybody here.
I'm not.
So
I'm
that's
not
another
social.
excuse.
Whoa, Daniel's a hard talker too? He made Mr. Smooth Talker realize he is just a runaway dad who lacks the knowledge to use social networking to locate people. Honestly, Daniel, it better be that Mr. Smooth Talker is your dad, so you can equip him with social networking tools to help him locate those who are missing somehow. Wait a minute, did he just say he did not know Miss Slippery Feet's last name?
Mr. Figures, you are not the father.
Oh my God.
20 years, huh? For this. I hope you fine.
After a very long debate and a roller coaster of emotions, the results are finally here, and Mr. Smooth Talker was very smooth after all. He swept Mrs. Slippery Feet off her feet 20 years later, only this time by exonerating himself of being the father of Daniel. Then who is Daniel's father? Could it be Mustafa, the dealer, or somebody else? Nobody knows.
So I'm sorry for you, man. I really hope you do find out who your father is.
It's fine.
I have to ask you, respectfully, do you know who? For 20 years.
Yeah, but he's been there all along.
My God. Does he have any clue that he is Daniil's biological father?
No.
Ms. Lopez, you are here today because you claim the defendant, Mr. Carbajal, allegedly perpetuated a DNA testing scam to try to deny paternity of your kids. You say you are tired of struggling daily to take care of your children alone, and you need to prove he's their biological father today.
Yes, Your Honor.
After perpetuating a fake DNA test to scam her into believing he is not the father, Mr. Carbajal insists that Mrs. Lopez has left his life in ruins simply because of the baby. I don't know, Mr. Carbajal. Maybe don't have sex without protection with a woman if you're not ready to be in ruins. Maybe get your life together before having a baby. So many options, Mr. Carbajal.
She told me, hey, come see me, for the weekend or just one night. So I want to go see her. And that day that I want to go see her, we basically had sex that first night.
It was not that
yes,
first night.
It was.
No,
yes, it
no,
was
it
the first
wasn't.
night. Yes,
No.
it was. Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay then, so these two are strangers going at it for the first time with one another, unprotected. That's such a sensible thing to do. After their devil's tango, Mr. Carbajal goes on to say to Ms. Lopez that he was uninterested in having a baby with a woman he was not in love with. But she's pregnant already? Oh, Mr. Carbajal, maybe next time don't have unprotected sex with a complete stranger?
You're the mother of 2 children.
Yes, Your Honor.
But there is a doubt as to the paternity to both of the children. That's what you contend, Mr. Carbajal?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's start with your daughter that's 2 years old, Aliana.
Yes.
So you claim Mr. Carbajal was the only person you were with.
Yes, Your Honor.
There are 2 babies, so these 2 had sex the first time, went through all of this with the first baby, and then decided to do it again? Wow, way to go, team. Now, again, Mr. Carbajal, you don't have a job, but you believe so strongly that Ms. Lopez is after your money? You're completely dependent on your family and their money, so you believe she feels completely entitled to it too. What a guy.
Even though you doubt it?
Because when she was first born, I was attached to her. I was really attached to her.
Okay, so you were attached to her. So then why doubt? What made you doubt?
She was the picture.
No, there was another man.
There
that
was not another man.
She showed my sister Miriam.
He was a friend
picture
of mine.
a guy, and my sister took picture of her phone.
He was a
because
friend of mine,
that
Your
guy
Honor.
looked exactly like.
No.
So
Rihanna.
you were showing pictures in your phone of
showing
a
my
guy
sister.
to your sister.
Yes.
Wait a minute, what? At this point, one would believe this man is bipolar. How was he so attached to this baby girl, calling her his firstborn daughter, up to him getting a tattoo of her name, only for him to switch up on the baby and her mom like that? Come on, what happened to not wanting to father a baby with a woman you are not in love with initially? What is going on, Mr. Carjabal?
This guy looks just like my niece. I don't think my brother's the father. What other doubt do you have? Did you witness? Did you hear about her sleeping with other people?
My family was when they were born, they didn't look nothing like us. My mom and my dad were saying
Your daughter did look
that
like you.
they had nothing related to us.
All
I've
right,
seen
so
pictures out
these
there.
are the doubts as it relates to Aliana. Let me understand the doubts as it relates to Noah.
Oh, so there was a man involved. Of course, another man in the picture caused him to act like that. Ms. Lopez, what were you thinking? Mr. Cabajal's sister is going on about how the new man resembles the baby way more than her own brother. Who let this woman into the courtroom, please? And why is she here for some sort of moral support?
Sign his birth certificate. Why wouldn't she let me? She's saying I'm the father. Why couldn't I sign a birth certificate?
Because you weren't there from the beginning.
I was there.
I was there when they both were born.
No,
I was
hold on.
Hold on, Miss Avila. Please stand up. Stand up. What is it that you'd like to add? They're saying they were at the hospital. You say they weren't?
They were at the hospital after they were born.
What exactly is going on here? Mr. Cabajal, can you please pick a side? Were you at the births or not? He was about to pull a fast one, but Ms. Avila was not having it. Look how fast the woman got up to defend her daughter. It's a very simple thing. It's either you were present at the hospital that day or not. It would seem like he is all about accusing this woman of being with him for money, whereas he has not been showing up.
It was probably, she was pregnant already. And this guy looks exactly like Noah.
Your Honor, I was already pregnant with
It's a
my
big,
son and my
dark
daughter
man,
was holding.
and
She said she
And
got pregnant in November when I seen her in December.
I was not pregnant in November,
Yes, you
okay?
were. Yes,
I'm not
you were.
she came to
nothing with
visit.
nobody.
She came to
So
visit
you
to my
believe
house.
she was already pregnant?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Were you intimate with anyone else?
No, Your Honor, I was not.
What a complete ride. The courtroom just got a lot hotter with these accusations. Since Mr. Cabajal had unprotected sex with her at their first meeting, he explicitly stated that he does not trust that she is not having unprotected sex with absolutely anybody during their first meeting. What a guy. If you're so uncomfortable with the concept, why do it with her in the first place? When you were fused with one another, it didn't occur to you that it was wrong, did it?
He did a paternity test that he bought from the store. I did not know about it until he gave me the result that came back.
So you took a home, and at
Oh,
home,
off the counter. We bought
DNA
it.
test.
Yes, my mom bought it off the counter. They came with swabbing things, you know?
Okay, so it came with all of the utensils,
Yes,
everything
and then
you
paperwork.
needed.
An over-the-counter paternity test? Really? Oh well, the man is desperate to find out and be sure if he is the father or not. So what were the results of the test that he was so desperate to do? Ms. Lopez, however, is so insistent that the paternity test is fraudulent. She knew nothing about it, heard nothing about it until the day he simply handed her the results.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not her father. Okay, now we have the answers for Aliana. We still have to get Noah's.
My mom wouldn't have spent so much money on those tests to
We
be
spend a
swabbing
lot of
other
money.
people.
We spend a
other
lot of
kids.
money to do those tests.
You guys should have still told us what you were
No, you think
going to do.
you think you guys were gonna let us do it?
To cut all the drama short, this woman has lied to Mr. Cabajal for 2 years. Just look at the shock on Judge Lauren's face. Was Mr. Cabajal right, Ms. Lopez? Was it with a stranger just like him? This woman lied blatantly to Judge Lauren, stating explicitly that she was not with anyone aside from Mr. Cabajal. With all of this happening, it seems almost like everything she has said could be a lie.
So I'll ask you again. Were you sleeping with anyone else besides Mr. Carbajal at the time?
One, Your Honor.
She's the one in the picture.
It's not the one in the
Obviously.
picture,
Pretty sure
okay?
it is.
No, it's not, Christina.
Ms. Lopez,
Yes.
you stood in this courtroom and lied. You lied.
You ruined my brother's life.
She ruined my life.
You know you lied.
That lie shocked Judge Lauren to the bone. Look at them bickering endlessly about the home DNA test, when the real one is right here and in front of their faces. Talk about misplaced priorities. It's almost like the baby is not the major thing for them. This child is 2 years old without a clue of everything going on here. And look at them going back and forth over inconsequential rubbish. Let's get to the second results.
Mr. Carbajal, you are not
Thank you.
Noah's
Thank
father.
you, Your Honor.
Ms. Romelis, you are here today to test 2 men to determine the paternity of another man.
We're in court today to settle Ms. Romelis' claim that Mr. Seymour is the father of her son. But wait a minute, she also claims that while on a 4-year relationship with Mr. Seymour, she cheated with another man, Mr. Covington. However, it was not the same week her son was conceived, as stated by Mr. Romelis. Okay, who is going to tell this woman that cheating is generally wrong, regardless of the time?
At first, everything was going really well. I was going to school, going to work, and he was like my financial and like spiritual guidance I needed in life. And it was just sex behind the dumpster.
So, Mr. Seymour was her financial and spiritual guidance till his faith led him to being a strip club mouse, from cheating to having sex behind dumpsters. Meanwhile, let's not forget Miss Romelis was feeding her beliefs on rumors, but Mr. Seymour can be very capable of pulling such stunts. No judging.
I tell him like, okay, so you do you, I'ma do me, and we took a break at that.
All right.
But
So
she won't
this
say I want daddy, though.
ended your relationship. You took a break.
Partially, it ended our relationship, Your Honor. Other incidents.
Alright, you did not like his newest hobby of going to the strip club and making good use of the dumpsters, so you decided to take a break. But while on a break, you were still taking bites off his cookie by seeing him at intervals. So, why the break? It's okay to not like his new hobby, but why deceive yourself by going on a faux break? You were seeing somebody else too at the same time.
We were on our break. I decided to see other people. I cheated on him basically out of spite. I was like, okay, he's doing him, so I'm gonna do me. And I had a mutual friend I'd been talking to for like 3 months.
Haha, you're doing revenge cheating without thinking of the consequences. Wait, did Mr. Seymour just mention that you were cheating with his mom's ring on your finger? Whoa, you were out for blood, really? Well, keeping your other man at arm's length while being with Mr. Seymour implies you had motives for him in the future.
Then what happens, Mr. Seymour?
I proposed to her with my mom's ring, and she
You
still go out here.
proposed to her with your mother's ring.
Yes, ma'am. She still
still go out here and betray me.
Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Seymour, what a loving gentleman you are. You popped the question and banded her with your mom's ring. Her cheating with the ring must have been a very heavy blow on you. You felt betrayed, but dear Ms. Romulus said you gave it to her as a promise ring. Are you a straightforward person, or are you just goofing around too?
Okay, I had sex with DJ and I had sex with Jeremy. Jeremy might be the father. I'm 100% for sure Jeremy's the father, but then again, I had sex with DJ. Look at it like, hey.
Ms. Romulus has some decency in her, how great, but how come it could not restrain her from sleeping with two men within the same time frame? Now she has found herself trying to guess who the father of her son is. Mr. Seymour definitely knows she cheated, with her confirming it, but her decision to cheat was despite based on a rumor. Nice. A son who has no known father is the result.
Girl that said I had sex with a script behind the dumpster told me that.
I told him myself.
Wait a minute. The
Same girl.
same person that told you he had sex behind the dumpster told...
Interesting. The same girl who dished the rumor to Ms. Romulus told Mr. Seymour about the other man Ms. Romulus was cheating with. Okay, that girl must be up to something very fishy. Ms. Romulus had the other man sign Mr. Seymour's so-called son's birth certificate. How intentional can Ms. Romulus be? You have done your best, so keep it up. Judge Lauren will be the one to judge you shortly.
Argument, and I had got mad, and I was like, you know what? Well, let me just put it out there that it might be a possibility of somebody else's father. As far as that, he's been there through this pregnancy. He's went to more
Because
than
he the
3.
man.
Doctor
Oh,
him
it's
look
not my
crazy because
child.
I don't want to drive.
How courageous of Ms. Romulus. She had to take the bull by the horns by letting him know he was the father of the child, as she usually makes decisions impulsively. In the same way, she decided to spite him based on rumors and pin him as the father because he has been to hospital visits with her for at least 3 months. Bravery and a very good sense of judgment as displayed by Ms. Romulus.
She's a manipulator. She's a liar.
No, I'm not. I did not manipulate you.
So hold on. I brought Mr. Covington in here because I want to understand his side.
Yeah. See, basically, she just family, my brothers and nephews. So she feel like I'm the guy for her to be this child cousin.
Time for the big man, Mr. Covington, to shed some light on this case. That did not go as expected. So Ms. Romulus passes as a manipulator and very cunning woman. Is she trying to dig some gold off Mr. Covington's hard work? Since he is working and has a sense of responsibility, he will be a good father to her son. Ms. Romulus keeps displaying a high level of intelligence in her decision-making. Kudos, once again, to her.
Mr. Seymour, you are not the father. Mr. Covington, you are not the father.
Seriously?
The results have shed light, and the father has still not been found. Mr. Covington took the worst hit. He must have thought he was the father of the boy. Not knowing Ms. Romulus, the manipulator put her skills to utmost use. She had other plans and pulled them off smoothly. Her quest continues as the DNA results have opened her to more searches.
That has to be somewhat wrong, though. I'm not even.
Somewhat wrong.
Yes,
all
it
the
has
way
to be
wrong.
wrong.
What? 2 years?
Let me tell you something. Men lie. You say you are 100% certain that the defendant is your 15-month-old son, Jasion's biological father, and today he's going to put his name on the dotted line right in front of his girlfriend. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Harris, you...
Nothing is going to stop Mr. Harris from putting his name on the dotted lines in front of his girlfriend on today's episode. Ms. Capples has come to fight tooth and nail in order for her to achieve this for her 15-month-old son. Mr. Harris has also made up his mind that it is not going to happen, and in the end, Ms. Capples should stay away from him and his girlfriend. Let's see how it unfolds.
Mr. Harris, I made him my man crush Monday. He's a good guy, hardworking, good father. We messaged back and forth on Facebook for a while. After that, we exchanged numbers, and after that, we started hanging out, getting up, and...
Do you remember finding out Miss Caples was pregnant?
Ms. Capples, did you attend the same high school with Mr. Harris in an imaginative world? Or is Mr. Harris trying to shelve you in front of his girlfriend? Why did you attend the same school with Mr. Harris? And he is claiming you never attended the same high school. So many questions the DNA result will hint us in. Not to forget you disappeared after informing him you were pregnant. Oh yeah, Man Crush Monday is a good guy too.
Dating, he told me about the situation and was like, I was talking to some girl. I may have a possible baby with her, whatever. So and one day we're out with the kids bowling and she wrote him in, oh, that B and this and that. Basically was just always her writing every blue moon about me.
Mrs. Capples, you're a fired up nerve. Not to judge you, but claiming not to be jealous of your man crush's relationship, yet texting and writing about his girlfriend, every blue moon screams the opposite of your claims. Well, it's okay. You might have it by fingers that are eager to pen things down, but dating another man while you're pregnant for Mr. Harris is a whoa moment.
We started talking around September, Mr. Harris. Anyways, like I said, all the way up until the beginning of May. If you go back 9 months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is the window of conception where my son was born, and this is within the time time frame that I was still intimate with Mr. Harris.
And this is the information.
Wait a minute. Ms. Capples ain't playing in this court. An exhibit and you pull up a whole calendar board with highlighted days and months. Come on, ma'am. The DNA results better match your calculations because this you just did is way over the roof. Like it's already so much for Mr. Harris not to be the father of your son.
He did not tell me that he was dealing with other women while me and him were talking. So I did not know that he was playing the fifth.
And text other women back.
I went through your phone. I didn't. Yes, I did.
Salty.
Cut me off.
Yeah, that's the time y'all stopped talking.
Girl. And you were there when he was.
He don't even know your real name.
You were.
Mr. Harris' girlfriend really came to support her man. She's like, I am not letting any Facebook girl snap my man or even pin any fatherless child on his neck. What a supportive woman she is. Ms. Capples must be a jealous protector by going through her one-time boyfriend's phone and texting girls back. Wait. Did he just say he never knew her real name?
Her best friend, she told me that the kid is not mine. On social media, I was getting messages over people she knows, people her friends.
You said she told you the child was not yours.
She told me not too long ago that she did have sex with one guy. And,
after the fact.
No,
and
after
She's the way friends saved the day for these men on paternity court. So, Ms. Capples' friend told Mr. Harris that she was sleeping with another man. Okay, cool. Ms. Capples, the Wonder Woman, doesn't see anything wrong with this act as she claims it was after the fact that she was pregnant and that it was only one time. Okay, she did not know she was pregnant. Fair enough? Hell no.
When she delivered the baby, the next morning I came up there. And
You did?
When I looked, he didn't look like me at all.
No, he does
and
not.
I had my doubt. I had been had my doubts, but like I say, everybody around town says that she goes around saying it's another guy's baby.
When you came up to the hospital to see the baby, did you sign the birth certificate?
No, I did not.
Something really funny just happened here. Mr. Harris said the boy did not and does not look like him, and Ms. Capples corroborated that statement. Okay, so why are we here, Ms. Capples? He has his doubts, more reason why he did not sign the birth certificate just to save his own head. Yet he bought baby needs for the first few months. Mind you, he wasn't there for the birth, so Ms. Capples, why are we here?
So you come to the realization that that was you being angry. And now that's why you're here in court today, because you know that your child deserved to have mother and father listed on his birth certificate.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many times have you seen him?
Not a lot.
Yeah. She don't know that, but she.
I've seen him
Oh no,
quite
I don't
a few
want to let
times,
around him.
Ms. Capples, as it is today, is all about you and the dotted lines. You did not want him to sign the birth certificate at the point of delivery, but want him to sign it 15 months later, because you realized you made a wrong choice at the beginning. Everyone makes the wrong choice, most times actually. But why prevent them from seeing the child? And now you want your so-called enemies to be involved in the signing. Nice play.
I want to know, since 15 months has passed and there's been no real attempt to get a DNA test, have you allowed him to be in Jayceon's life? Because the baby's a year and a half now.
I did give him the opportunity, but he was always, what's the point in that?
For the last 15 months, Mr. Harris hasn't seen this child because he is always busy at work and you don't want your child in his house with his girlfriend. Okay, cool, but you remember you said he is the child's father. You should both share the same custody of the child. It is every father's right to see and spend quality time with their child just like you do. Well, the DNA results are almost here.
Mr. Harris, you are not the father.
Thank
You didn't sleep with no one else.
Ms.
Well, I
Caples?
would like to publicly apologize to Mr. Harris. I honestly thought that it was yours. We messed around. We were intimate a lot, and you know we were.
Ms. Caples, wow, you definitely pulled up maturely. Public apology to Mr. Harris? Come on, that's not a great one from you considering the stress you put the lovebirds through. Nice one from you. But your journey continues. Who is the father of the child as the DNA results have shown it's not your crush? Well, that's one puzzle for you to solve. Judge Lake put another light on with this.
Just learn from this lesson because there's been a lot going on here. I mean, I was annoyed, I was disgusted by the behavior I witnessed in this courtroom between you two women. This has been 2 years of drama for nothing. You immediately apologized to Mr. Harris. You're here to prove to your ex-boyfriend is not the father of your 3-year-old daughter, Zaylee Rasmussen.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim you've been in an ongoing court for a DNA test, all of which have been denied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Rasmussen, you claim the real reason Ms. Miller is denying your Zaylee's.
Mrs. Miller absolutely hates Mr. Rasmussen. The appalling thought of him being the father of her baby brought her to paternity court. Mr. Rasmussen has been there for the baby her entire life, and he feels utterly wronged that all of this is being sprung up on him in the middle of nowhere. He is here to prove that he is the biological father of the baby.
She just doesn't want me to have visitation. I drive 160 miles every other weekend just to pick up my daughter and drop her off. That's about 10,000 miles. That's wear and tear on my car. car. She doesn't have a driver's license. She doesn't have any way to bring her to me. She doesn't have any way to meet me halfway.
You say she hates you?
She hates.
The cheating card. It's no wonder she hates you, Mr. Rasmussen. At the end of the relationship, did you go to another woman? Or that turn of events was what caused the end of the relationship? You'd need to be so much more specific here. Then, in return, Ms. Miller decided to be absolutely against the topic of seeing him again, even around his alleged baby, too.
Mad at him for being a cheater. He cheated on me through pretty much our whole relationship. No, I do not hate him because of that.
He says this is about visitation, too. He loves his daughter, but you don't want him to have the visitation. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, this woman is not beating around the bush. That is totally why she does not allow him near her daughter. She absolutely lost her respect for him throughout the course of the relationship because he could not keep it in his pants. The whole concept of a relationship, Mr. Rasmussen, is the inevitable fact that you choose to be with one person ultimately. What then is the point if you cheat at every step?
I want to be in her life as much as I possibly can.
I mean, if he's driving 160 miles each way every other weekend, the money he would get in his taxes, he's spending in gas.
I'm paying my child support. I have my child support payments right here, plus an additional $3 fee, plus an additional $60 annual fee.
Okay, that adds up. This man actually does put in so much effort into seeing his baby girl each time. Now, over to you, Ms. Miller. What do you want this man to do for you? He's paying some amount of money as it is for the baby, so what would it cost you to simply get him to be a part of her childhood? Now he's accusing Ms. Miller of dressing up his baby girl in very shabby clothes.
All in this child's life.
Because I still believe that he's not hers.
Okay, and listen, that's what we're here for. I want to get down to the bottom of the truth. You don't believe he's her biological father?
Yes, Your Honor.
So explain to me why.
When she was conceived in March of 2011.
So, it's tit for tat. She cheated too, and this woman is here in paternity court telling us about how her ex-boyfriend cheated on her. His cheating does not justify your cheating, Ms. Miller. The proper thing to do is to not cheat at all, or even better, break up. Both of them are cheating on one another, but there is just one person that got pregnant, and is the definite parent of the baby. Cheating is never a wise move, Ms. Miller.
Yes, Your Honor.
But clearly, at some point, Mr. Rasmussen either thought or was informed that he was her biological father because he is paying child support, he's still driving 160 miles each way, and she has his last name.
Yes.
Mr. Rasmussen, fill me in. At what point, clearly, at some point, Mr. Rasmussen either thought or was informed that he was her biological father because he is paying child support, he's still driving 160 miles each way.
Whoa, Ms. Miller, it's starting to look very strange here. Usually moms in court would try to prove that they were not with anyone aside from the man in court. But oh no, not Ms. Miller. She is explicitly stating that she was intimate with someone else. This woman is not having it with the mere possibility that Mr. Rasmussen is the father of her child. What a woman.
I was at the birth. I was at every single doctor's appointment. When Zaylee was born, you were at a doctor's appointment. I was at home because I had to work that day. I was at my job as a cashier. I got a phone call and I answered it.
This man crossed 7 deserts and 7 seas just to be there for Ms. Miller and the baby. He drove for 45 minutes from the middle of work too. Counting the doctor's appointments, he was at every single one of them. Birth certificate as well, he signed. The bloody thing the very day the baby was born. If this man was so supportive from day one, at what point does Ms. Miller decide to switch up and why?
And raise our daughter together until about 3 months after she was born. One of his friends told me everything that he was doing throughout our entire relationship, cheating on me, going to multiple places to meet multiple girls.
Oh, that's wild. There's so much resentment in this woman from Mr. Rasmussen. She found out about this 3 months after the baby was born too. Does this mean he was doing it even while she was pregnant? Or worse, he kept cheating even after she gave birth to the baby? Behind all of the supportive things he has been doing, all of it must stem from some sort of ache for restitution. It's beginning to seem like Mr. Rasmussen has not been genuine.
But you know deep down there's another possible father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why wait so long to tell him?
I told him the first time that we had a court date, but the courts threw it out.
Even before you tell anybody in court?
Yes, Ms. Miller. You could have told him earlier that there was another man in the picture, regardless of whether you were cheated on or not. How about his own attachment to your baby girl? Now, there is so much tension building up in court over the possibility that this man may or may not be the father. If he ends up being the father, is Ms. Miller then going to grant him access to her? What a duo.
To have Mr. Rasmussen taken off of child support?
I have told him a couple times that if he would just sign her over to me, that he wouldn't have to pay child support anymore.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give up that easy. I'm fighting for what I know is mine.
Now that man sincerely wants to be the father of this baby girl. His bond with her is so precious, and he is desperately trying to protect it. He has had to fight until he got the right to visit her every other weekend. Now, onto the question that has been sitting so comfortably like the elephant in the room: what happens if he is not the father? He honestly will be unable to withstand that bombshell. Let's get to the results.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Rasmussen, you are not the father. That's a lot of nerve considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you, with Mr. Wallace and Miss Roberts. Previously, you were here because Mr. Wallace questioned the paternity of your other child, but now, today, you say you need to prove to Mr. Wallace that he is the father of your 9-month-old son, Ronell.
These are our regulars in court today. This is their third time dragging this case, and Mr. Wallace hopes today will be the very end of the fun Ms. Austin is having. She is dragging him to court over the paternity of her son. Let's see how it goes. Will Ms. Austin's fun truly end here? Or will Mr. Wallace have to continue to deal with more bruises, since one thing is certain, this man will be cooked today.
This time you were standing on the defendant's side with Ronell,
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Wallace. So now, Mr. Wallace, you back with Miss Roberts.
Yes, ma'am.
But you still going back and forth between the two women because she's pregnant now.
Okay, let's sip some water. Right now, Mr. Wallace is basically like a table tennis ball. Whoa, you were here with the current plaintiff as your girl the last time, and now you're here with the last plaintiff as your girl this time. You're damn good at your game. Man, you're going to sustain some heavy bruises. We are all sad.
Everything started out okay, but we all knew that wasn't gonna last long. Ronell Wallace was still bouncing back from me and Kendrelyn. I had enrolled in school, but I never did go because I had got pregnant once again with Ronell. And she got pregnant with her baby, with her son.
It's enough to be said that she is here again for the same reason. It clearly shows her learning curve is flat. And for Mr. Wallace, accepting that he could potentially be the father puts him in the same category as her. They all have had a very messy run since the last time they were here, and this is so clear. Well, Judge Lake knows how to shine her light with the DNA results.
When we was together, I had installed, it was like spyware on her phone. It's what they would duplicate her text messages and call log and send a copy to my email.
Oh, Mr. Wallace 007. You installed spyware on her phone, more like you bugged, or rather tapped her phone so you could keep tabs on who she's texting or talking to. What a man of many talents. Oh, well, it worked for you to detect she was cheating, didn't it? Ms. Austin, you're still denying and asking for proof after he just told you he put spyware on your phone?
We are going to speak to women respectfully in the courtroom. You can express yourself.
If I'm dead, so why you keep on sleeping with me? Why? Why? I'm pregnant again. Why? You say that about
All
her.
right.
Yeah.
So
Why
now,
do you allow me?
What in the name of a mess is going on here? Both people are sleeping with different people and are still sleeping with each other unprotected. That's a lot to deal with, and it's amusing how the girlfriend and the plaintiff find a way to make the show about them, one way or the other. Girlfriend wants to protect and support her man just like every woman will want to, but the plaintiff, Ms. Austin, is really hurting and is throwing blows.
Why you pregnant and right after you pregnant? Of course, I'm gonna have doubts about the child.
right. Miss Austin, are you admitting that you also had a relationship with somebody else during the time?
No, I wouldn't even call it a relationship.
Merely talking to people got you pregnant? Because according to Mr. Wallace, you got pregnant immediately after your last pregnancy. This gives him enough reason to doubt the legitimacy of the child. Ma'am, you claim you were just talking to these people, or rather the one person at the time because you were hurt. Something's not right here. Well, this is what paternity court does, makes things straight.
Try to get back at me for the things that the mistakes that I made.
Actually, Ronell left his apartment and he moved with Kendrelyn.
Just out of the blue, he woke up and said, I'm going to move with Miss Roberts now?
Go with her.
So what happened?
Cheating as a means of revenge isn't a very good decision, as it will definitely be at a cost. Trying to be promiscuous because Mr. Wallace cheated on you has now led to having a fatherless child right now. And whoa, Mr. Casanova here does not want his women cheating and sleeping around, but he can. How properly tailored to suit him. You're somewhat the problem, Mr. Wallace.
Base it all off look.
They have the same chin.
Let me see that. Is that evidence you'd like to present?
Yes.
Okay. Walk me through what these pieces of evidence are. The first piece is
The chin. You see that chin? Look at their feet.
Oh, come on, they have the same chin and feet means he is the father of the child? No. Do not base it off of that, Ms. Austin. You know fully well the child is not his, based off of the chin and that little physical resemblance. Physical resemblance can be good evidence, but it can't be based on that. That is why you did very well by bringing this to paternity court. The DNA result will scream the truth.
The apartment that I have now is because I moved in because of Ronell. Ronell left me to go be with Mr. Robert. He don't care. It's all about him, and he doesn't care.
The crying card? The tears are going to flow, but it would not change the DNA results. And honestly, Mr. Wallace needs to relax and take a chill pill. Ms. Roberts definitely wants him all to herself. That's the basis of Ms. Austin's hurt. He allows the women to set themselves up, and boom, he latches on, just till he needs a new woman. Then he scouts and hops on. What a man. What a cycle.
Mr. Wallace, are Ronell's father. I want to get you all some. I have joining me today via Skype a gentleman by the name of Mr. Wright.
Oh, Mr. Wallace, please pick up your baggage and face your reality. You're the father. Let this be your last time here too. The DNA results are out and they don't lie. So man up and face your daddy duties. Judge Lake hasn't just shown the light, she has created a path for you this time. Stick to it and let Mr. Wright guide you. Mrs. Austin has no more revenge affairs. This was a hell of a case.
A number of social services, I have a number of resources that I want to wrap these young people in, but are they willing to accept my help?
Mrs. Allen claims that Mr. Levant is keen on keeping her 6-month-old baby a secret. Isn't that something? Mr. Levant, on the other hand, is here with his girlfriend, you heard that right, to prove her wrong. It's one thing to hear that your boyfriend is cheating on you, and it's another thing to come with him to paternity court to support him over another woman.
Why do you think he's denying the baby?
Because of his girlfriend, of course. His girlfriend telling him lies.
The girlfriend tells him lies?
Yes, Your Honor.
Like what?
No, I don't.
Telling him that the baby don't look like him.
That baby too light.
Whoa, okay, so his girlfriend is here with a semblance card again. It's an interesting thing how people come into paternity court expecting a baby to look some type of way. That's why we're here in paternity court, folks. Also, how come Ms. Allen got so comfortable with a man that has a girlfriend in the first place? Was he keeping that a secret too, Ms. Allen?
Mr. Levant, are you denying this child because you're trying to keep your relationship with your girlfriend?
No.
No. So you have a family together, you and your girlfriend?
Yes.
So there's a lot at stake here. You have children?
Yes.
We do.
How many?
3.
You have 3 children?
Yes.
So Mr. Levant isn't keen on denying the child to keep his relationship with his girlfriend. Not so surprising, after all they have 3 kids together. He definitely will pass as a good dad. This must have been the force of attraction between Ms. Allen and Mr. Levant in the first place. Father of the year, really.
At the time, we was going through something and we split up for just a one night.
You split up for one night?
It was not one night.
We just split up.
Your Honor.
Like, we was going through some stuff.
No, it wasn't.
And
yes, it
we
was.
We had a break for a minute.
Yes, it was a one night stand.
No, it wasn't.
Interesting. One misunderstanding leads to one night apart, and boom, Mr. Levant is on a planting spree. What a good justification for bringing another child into this great world. Kudos, Mr. Levant. Your abilities are now aligning perfectly to get you the Father of the Year medal. Imagine what would happen if he was apart from his girlfriend for a week, or even a month. Oh, Mr. Levant. I can't begin to imagine how you're assisting with the population control laws.
Mr. Levant had a girlfriend and 3 children when you were sleeping with him?
No.
Yes, you did.
Was it just a one night stand?
No, it wasn't.
You commented on my firstborn
together,
child.
like I said, we was together 2010.
Y'all never was together.
No, yes, we was.
Over the phone?
Okay.
Oh, so Ms. Allen says they were together since 2010, but still, she had no idea that he had a girlfriend throughout this time? Mind you, he had a girlfriend that he shared 3 children with, so what excuse did he give you as he went on to raise 3 human beings, side by side with his girlfriend, Ms. Allen? Surely he did not tell you he went out for some milk?
But we was dating in 2010.
Y'all never was dating.
It was a long distance relationship.
That's not what he told
me. I met him through a mutual friend.
So you've known him since 2010?
Yes, Your Honor.
But then you're saying all of you all were back and forth in a relationship for 5 years?
Yes.
It was a long distance relationship. Would you look at that? So how exactly did all of this go down? Ms. Allen believed she was in a long-distance relationship with this man who was in another state, whereas Mr. Levant was busy making back-to-back babies with his short-distance girlfriend. That explains it. Now, Mr. Levant is getting us to know that he never told Ms. Allen that he was single. So what, all their conversations over the phone for the past few years, he just thought they were friends? Mr. Levant, who are you trying to fool?
You know this, Miss Lanier?
I knew about it, but I told him to stop contacting her.
They met in 2013, Your Honor.
We met in 2013.
So
we had our first child in 2014.
You was
then
not there when we met anyway.
And I just had a child right after you.
You was not there.
That's right, that makes so much sense. You were talking as friends, since friends casually have one-night stands and get pregnant for one another. Isn't that right, Mr. Levant? Now, if his girlfriend knew about this woman and told him to stop contacting her, that means Mr. Levant was confidently two-timing these women for what, over 5 years? Whoa, what a guy.
You are saying that Ms. Allen was intimate with another man somewhere during this timeline?
Yes.
Can you tell the court where?
In the park.
It was not at the park.
Oh boy, do we have a wild case in our hands here? She slept with her boyfriend and Mr. Levant during her conception window. So after some time, Ms. Allen decides she is no longer in a long-distance relationship and decides to get a short-distance boyfriend of her own. Then she goes on to break up with his boyfriend and go back to her long-distance boyfriend for a one-night stand. However, the old boyfriend and the new boyfriend could be the father of her baby. baby. What a head scratcher.
Contacted me through social media on Facebook since 2014 when my first child was born.
So you knew.
She's been stalking us since day one. We've been together for 5 years.
That's not 5 years. Y'all been together for 3.
Looks like we have some psycho mothers here alongside the men today in paternity court. What's this about stalking? Ms. Allen allegedly knew about Mr. Levant's girlfriend and her first child. Looks like Facebook is a thick part of this case today. Also, Ms. Allen is here correcting her with respect to how long they have been dating for. Well, why not focus on getting the dates right on your own calendar and changing your taste in men, Ms. Allen?
Our last child in February.
You just had a child in February.
Yes.
Now, if this child, Ms. Allen's child, turns out to be your boyfriend's biological child, is this relationship going to withstand?
No, it's not.
And there you have it. Your man is the problem here, Ms. Mitchell. He is a lying, two-timing psycho, and you are here supporting him like your life depends on it. There's only one reason why you're pouring so much hate on Ms. Allen today, and it is because Mr. Levant cheated. Whether or not he turns out to be the father of this baby, the person that had sex with another woman in a park after just one night of problems in a 5-year relationship is your own boyfriend. Take a look at Mr. Levant's reaction after hearing the results.
Mr. Mitchell, you are not the father. Mr. Levant, you are not the father.
Yes!
Mr. Webb, you have been waiting 2 years for this day. You claim the defendant, Mrs. Forrest, left you for dead only to find out once you got out of a coma that she was pregnant and that the baby could be yours or her husband.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Webb, after taking a quick trip to the land of the dead, has returned to the reality of meeting his girlfriend, who he left with a flat tummy already possessing a baby bump. Oh, surely he must wish he booked a one-way ticket for the trip, because he has to deal with claiming the child and proving he is the actual father of the child. Patience is one of his virtues too, as he has waited 2 solid years for this.
How did you get yourself in this triangle?
My husband got in some trouble, and I ended up meeting Mr. Webb through one of my friends. We hit it off, and then I ended up leaving Mr. Forrest for Mr. Webb.
So you began a sexual relationship?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and were you using protection at the time?
No, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Forrest has a flair for troublemakers. More reason why she got hitched with her husband. However, the tenacity to go long was cut short when a particular trouble made her land in Mr. Webb's bed without using proper protection. Now, this has led to a fruitful harvest of having a baby. This is now a battle between the troublemaker and the patient returnee. Who owns the baby?
I had got a phone call saying that she was pregnant. I heard it from my aunt first, but on my way to Illinois with my dad, she had called me and told me that it was a possibility that Elena was my child.
Thanks to Mr. Webb's aunt, who was the first to break the news about the pregnancy. Mr. Webb was on his way to Illinois while reflecting on his journey to the other side. Mrs. Forrest, on the other hand, had just called to tell him she has a baby and there is a possibility the child belonged to him. Okay, Ms. Forrest is now trying to gamble her way to picking a dad for her child. What a move.
Some of her check would be coming up missing every time she would get paid.
No.
And so what did you suspect? Because something was missing out of her check?
She would get off at 10 o'clock. It would take at least 15 minutes to get home, but she would come in at 11 to 11:30.
It took about 45 minutes to get from where I was working.
So it was missing time and missing money.
Yes.
So Mr. Webb isn't just a patient man, but seems to be one with an analytical mind. I can imagine what amount of dedication he has put in, trying to constantly know the amount of time it takes Miss Forrest to travel from work back home and the discrepancies in her paycheck. Miss Forrest isn't just sleeping around. Is she funding her other men too?
From my knowledge, so like 3 days before he ever went into a coma.
No, Your Honor, I did not have any idea that we were split up.
Having problems.
I had called my dad for a bus ticket to Alabama. 2 hours after I got off the phone with him, I had ended up on life support.
How come Mr. Forrest knows so much about his wife's extracurricular love life? He seems to know more about it than Mr. Webb himself. Does this mean he acknowledges the fact that his wife cheated on him with this man, abandoned him while he was on life support, and he supports her fully still? Whoa. Isn't this just the world's most supportive husband?
I'm sure there were some feelings because you had gotten back with your husband while he's fighting for his life.
Which I loved. I loved Mr. Webb at the time, but we were...
You loved him?
Well, I mean...
So when you realized you were pregnant, when exactly did you realize you were pregnant?
The middle of September.
Of course, Miss Forrest. Of course, any sensible mother would not let her son in the vicinity of the woman who left him to go back to an ex. If she were dramatic enough, she should have gotten a restraining order even. You basically led the poor man on, and now you claim to love him too? Well, let's see what the world's most supportive husband has to say to that.
You're the father?
Well, she had told me ahead of time that I may not be
be the father, but there was a chance that I was the father.
So now, what makes you stand in court today, Ms. Forrest, and say that your husband is definitely the father?
I have counted back the times when she was born.
Oh, so this woman is really leaving everything to chance here. Look at her spreading the word and telling everyone they may be the father. Surely, if you check your texts right now, there just may be a text from Ms. Forrest that you may be the father. What a woman indeed. How come she got her husband to be in paternity court today with everything he knows? That's the real mystery here.
August 26, 2012.
So you saying August 25th, you all were intimate?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that correct, Ms.
Yes,
Forrest?
Your Honor.
Without protection?
Yes,
Yes,
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Okay. So that's intimate with Mr. Webb.
Whoa, wait a minute. According to these dates, this woman was intimate with Mr. Webb on the day before he got into the hospital. So what? She decided to go back to her husband just like that? It's no wonder Mr. Webb's mother refused to let her see him. It makes absolutely no sense, Ms. Forrest. Now, she has 2 men in the same conception window and 1 baby in the mix.
You would be presumed to be the father anyway. A child born to a marriage, into a marriage, the husband is presumed to be the father.
I've took care of her since the day she was born. Well, a month after she was born. He ain't took care of her.
Mr. Webb, were you given an opportunity to see
No, Your Honor.
baby Elena after she was born?
I have not met Elena.
Oh, come on, Ms. Forrest. Now you drag him into paternity court, right? All this while, you refused him access to you or Elena. Now what do you want the man to do? Your golden husband, whom it seems like you'd absolutely love to be the father of your child, apparently even abandoned you and your baby for the first month post-birth. Mr. Forrest, what a guy.
Ms. Forrest, are you afraid he's gonna take your daughter, or are you afraid he's her biological father?
I'm afraid that he's gonna take my daughter.
He's signed up to take our child.
I have a belief.
Now isn't that just embarrassing to say the least? Look at the reaction from the audience. Mr. Forrest obviously said that bit, thinking that he would get the same reaction from the audience. What a faker. With his behavior in court today, it is pretty clear that this man is here today simply to grease and protect his ego. Take a look at his reaction with the unveiling of the results.
That her biological father is Mr. Webb. Mr. Quarles, both you and your wife have petitioned the court today for a DNA test for 4-year-old Sierra Forrester. You claim that due to a one-night stand, you are now in financial shambles caused by child support for a child you don't believe is yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Forrester looks like she wants to capitalize on the fact that Mr. Quarles engaged in a one-night stand with her. She is basically trying to make him her gateway to financial freedom. It didn't seem appropriate to claim that he wasn't the father at first, but now she's claiming the opposite. She is doing this because he has been paying child support but now can't afford to anymore, as it resulted in him being in a financial crisis. Is she actually looking for her child's father or just looking to fatten her purse?
Every 2 weeks because my child support is getting taken out.
So you are having child support garnished from your checks.
Right.
And this is causing problems in your marriage.
Right.
But you do not think this child is yours.
No.
Ms. Forrester, you put him on child support.
Yes, ma'am.
You gave his name to the court.
Yes, ma'am.
Just as expected, constant child support deductions from Mr. Quarles' paychecks are causing marital issues in his family. What family can survive on less than $50 every 2 weeks? It's more like a lose-lose game for Mr. Quarles, as he thinks the child isn't his. More so, Ms. Forrester did not put his name as the father of the child on the birth certificate. So why continue to pay child support for a child that isn't his at the expense of his marriage?
I mean, I ain't signed no birth certificate. I ain't doing,
Well, you were named the father by default because you didn't show up to court. The address they had of record, the notice went there. You say you had moved,
Right.
but they sent it to probably your last known address. And then because you didn't show, and you were determined to be the father by default.
Mr. Quarles is the father of the child by default for not showing up in court. Not showing up in court on the set date can mean Mr. Quarles was trying to not take responsibility for the child. Could he be guilty? Could it mean he did not want to pay the child support, so he decided to be absent on purpose? Many questions only the paternity test result can answer.
They garnish your wages.
Yes, they garnish my wages. On that check, I gotta do other.
But you have arrears as well.
Right.
If you don't pay your child support, you can go to jail.
Yes, and next month I have a court date that they might just send me to jail for 6 months.
Sounds like Mr. Quarles doesn't mind going to jail because he definitely knows not paying child support is a first-class ticket to jail. Sounds like he doesn't mind being away for 6 months. I mean, who doesn't like a break? He will be getting a break from marital issues and paying child support for the time he will be in jail. But sadly for him, reality will welcome him starting from the 7th month.
Ms. Forrester, you say you initially said he was not the father.
Right.
Then you changed it.
Yes, ma'am.
How did that happen?
Because Miss Hernandez came up to me and asked me if he
was the father. I didn't want to cause any problems between their relationship, so I told her, no, he wasn't the dad.
Ms. Forrester, whoa, two tales? Which one to believe? He is the father, then he isn't the father. You definitely did not want to cause marital problems for his family, but the child support claims are doing the job well. You had to lie to the wife, but you still had to claim child support. What exactly is your goal? The true father of your child, or the weight of your purse?
Ma'am, I took a lie detector test.
Wait, you're saying that it was more than one time?
Yes, ma'am.
And you asked the court to administer a lie detector test?
Yes, ma'am.
Jerome, do we have those results?
Yes, we do.
So you volunteered for a lie detector test because you say you had sex with him more than once?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how many times did you have sex with each other? This should be one question with the same answer when asked at different times between the both of you. One of you is definitely lying. Thanks to the advent of technology, the lie detector test result will vindicate one of you. But yes, we did it once or multiple times doesn't really matter. We have a baby.
Who she was sleeping with and just called him all year, since she's saying she only was with one black man, but other black men at the same job claim to have slept with her too.
But the other black men aren't named Ura Quarles.
Yay! Mrs. Quarles to the rescue. She's a very supportive wife. A good wife will definitely want to protect her husband's interests. More so when it has to do with his finances and not wanting a baby from his mistress that had not been proven to be his. But the polygraph has a high level of accuracy, which is why the court employs it to detect lies. So can we just accept its results?
Mr. Quarles during the window of conception?
No, Your Honor.
He says two guys said they were sleeping with you too.
It's two black guys.
He's the only black guy I've ever slept with my whole entire life. That's why
What's the difference if they black, white, yellow, green? What's the difference?
Because she's mixed. I mean, she's mixed, Your Honor, you know, so I'm just...
So you're saying the baby is biracial?
Yeah,
yes.
Ms. Forrester claims she has slept with only one black guy her entire life, and that's Mr. Quarles. Mr. Quarles, on the other hand, claims she is promiscuous. In fact, two other black guys have come to tell Mr. Quarles they both have slept with Ms. Forrester one time or the other. Mind you, all these are happening in the same workplace. Okay, are they actually working or just sleeping around and gossiping with each other on the job?
They were in a relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is I want to talk about this, on and off morality. I mean, on the one hand, you're saying I didn't want to break up their relationship by telling her that this could potentially be his child. But on the other hand, I am sleeping with him knowing that he's with her.
Now we are getting to know what it actually is. Ms. Forrester lied because she rode on the horse of morals to protect Mr. Quarles' relationship, but felt no lack of morals when sleeping with him. Okay, as she claimed, he slept with her. While they were having an affair, she knew Mr. Quarles was in a relationship. In fact, he was a married man. Yet she continued. What a show.
Mr. Quarles, you are the father.
I would like to see her. I have visitation rights, everything.
No.
What did you say, Miss Forrester?
I said no.
So now you don't want them to be a part of your child's life?
My daughter's 4. She has a dad.
The results are out. Congratulations, Mr. Quarles. You're the father. Yes, child support continues. It's time to increase your shifts and double your pay. Mrs. Forrester is more concerned about her purse, as it may seem. She doesn't want her daughter's biological father anywhere near her till she is an adult. A crazy woman surely befitting an equally crazy man. Though this time, it seems Ms. Forrester is quite the competition.
And now Mr. Quarles wants to come into her life and confuse her.
And whose fault is that? Yours.
It's his.
No,
it's
that's your fault. You don't want to.
No, I asked him. I used to beg him to come and see her.
No, listen, so you basically just want to receive the support.
Exactly.
Mr. Hartfield, you say you made a mistake by having an affair, but you know you are not the father of Miss Streeter's child. You claim that Miss Streeter was openly sleeping with other men besides you. Today's results will determine whether or not you'll be able to save your marriage. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Hartfield is being the smooth criminal in court today as he lied to Miss Streeter about his relationship status. When they met, he was very much married at the time, and he lied about the whole thing. To make matters worse, he convinced her to have his baby too. Now, he is here today, trying so desperately to save his marriage. Mr. Hartfield, what changed? You did not realize you had a marriage to save, or you thought there was a free cheat card? That's not how marriage works, okay?
We were dating for about 8 months, a long time. We were in a relationship, a committed relationship with just me and him. And throughout the whole relationship, he wanted to have a baby. He said he didn't get to raise any of his. So we went to the hospital when we got the birth control taken out together.
Oh, I see what's going on here. They were in a committed relationship. Mr. Hartfield, why are you 46 years old, already married to a woman, but in a committed relationship with a 22-year-old girl, feeding her cooked up lies and getting her to have your babies? Do you not have children her age, sir? Where exactly do they get these crazy men from? Now he's out here disputing everything Ms. Streeter says and spinning his own web of lies to Judge Lake.
It's possible that she's thinking about someone else because she and I did meet, that is a fact, and we did talk
talk, and I found her to be very attractive at the time. And I even, did things to convince her that, okay, maybe I will be a guy that she could take a chance with as far as going out on dates.
Why would you be a guy she can take a chance with if you are married, sir? What chances are she taking that your current wife has not taken already? There is no reason why you would be going on dates with a girl half the age of your wife saying you are a guy she can take a chance with because you find her attractive. Can someone tell this man again that this is simply not the way marriage works?
Then found Mrs. Hartfield's page, and that's when I seen pictures of them. And I didn't even call her right away because he had told me, like, them pictures are old, she's professional, and for her image, she don't want people to know that we're not together. So I believed him. Matter of fact, I didn't even call her. I text her and let her know, like.
What a wild ride both women are having from just one crazy man. Imagine getting that sort of call with everything thrown at you like a brick. This man basically sat Miss Streeter down, prepared a table for a delicious meal, and fed her lies right to her face. She found out about his wife all by herself and gave her a call too. Turns out, the first time they had sex, it was a stone throw from his house too. Kudos to you, Mr. Hartfield. Surely he considered his matrimonial bed but decided against it. Kudos to you.
He texted me last night. I have the proof right here.
I'd like to see that. You say he text you?
He texted me earlier this week.
This is a text that says no, and then I'm horny, and then come over.
Oh my God.
And the next line says, I'm serious, I am horny as hell.
Now everyone knows you are a psychopath, Mr. Hartfield. Now everyone knows. With the amount of lies you told Miss Streeter, you're in court today, spinning the same web for everyone else. Imagine blatantly lying about the text before she brought out proof. Basically, nothing from this man's mouth is believable anymore. If there is no proof, there is no case.
I was here because I love him.
Daddy, hang
genuinely,
up on you.
I was supposed to be.
For money.
He kept asking me about marriage. He made me realize stuff that I never even knew I thought about, like future and being with him. He
Man,
all the
that
time
really
told me
good.
he wants to marry me.
This call for a stamp.
Now he's trying to stop.
Come on, just look at the woman. She looks so broken and at the same time, not too surprised. It's almost like she can imagine her husband doing all of this without a doubt. This man has been playing God knows what game with this young girl for months until he eventually got her pregnant. After, he promised her marriage too. So what? Is polygamy on the table for you, Mr. Hartfield?
And he said, oh, she's just some little girl. She ain't nobody. I didn't like texting, so I called her. And I'm like, we had a conversation. It was a decent conversation, to which I told her, best of luck. He's not going to take care of your child because he didn't take care of ours.
True.
I don't have time for children. I'm not dealing with this.
Oh my goodness. She knows her husband like the lines on her palm. She was right to tell Miss Streeter good luck from the beginning because, honestly, she needs it. I mean, look at her right now. So, if Mr. Hartfield did not take care of his baby with his wife, what makes him think he would take care of this one? More so, this one from a young girl that is not his wife?
You wouldn't have
No, you said because I don't want to be with you.
I have a picture
I'm
on
just
where
saying,
he
Your Honor,
spent time with
I
my
do
baby.
have options. Even my wife, I love her. God knows I do. During the time that Dominique and I met, I had my own place.
What a great guy. This man is a manipulator and a narcissist. A second ago, his wife is a queen and everything. But right now, after she gives her opinion, he asks her to shut up and sit down. Why is this woman with this man in the first place? What do these women see in these psychopaths? Miss Streeter mentioned for herself that she saw past his lies at some point already. So why is his wife still here taking all of this?
Talking to me. When I first met him, he had a lot of women he talked to.
Of course.
A lot.
Of course.
It was a...
Of course.
So not only was it me, it was other people.
Let the truth come out. That's exactly what I said.
I have my own place. I'm a man. I'm standing on my own 2 feet. And both of them want to go separate ways. That's fine with me.
Wow, so he has another place and other women too. His wife had no clue that he basically was living a double life. Who even is this man? What exactly is his goal with his marriage? He keeps saying that he is a man standing on his own 2 feet. Well, you are not a bachelor living in a pad, Mr. Hartfield. You are a married man with your own kids, so you cannot keep lying to these young girls. What is your problem?
We standing until I ask her to be seated. I don't know what part of this you think you running. Stop that nonsense clapping. You don't run me, and you don't run this court. Now, ma'am, Miss Hartfield, you're saying that this was not the story that you were told.
No.
What was your understanding?
I knew they had a relationship.
Can this man put a lid on it already? He is obviously here without cause. What do you mean you want a divorce? He is here suddenly playing the victim after behaving so foolishly to his wife, speaking to her and disrespecting the woman in the courtroom, whereas he asked her to be here in the first place? Are you bipolar, Mr. Hartfield, or just plainly a psycho? Here are the results.
Mr. Hartfield, you are the father. Miss Casey, you say that for more than 25 years, your mother has told you that a deceased man who is listed on your birth certificate is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now another man, Mr. Edwards, is claiming he is your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Casey is in a dilemma with who her true father is. Her mother, Mrs. Ewing, claims her biological father, Mr. Hawkins, is dead, yet Mr. Edwards claims beautiful Miss Casey is his daughter. In fact, he had been in a sexual relationship with her mom at a time that coincided perfectly with her being conceived. This is a 25-year-old myth that paternity court has to unfold.
I know that's how she feels. If I would have knew that that's what she needed, I would have did my best to help her, but I did not know.
Miss Casey, you seem to kind of roll your eyes like you don't believe your mother.
It's not that I don't believe her. She has 9 children. My other siblings had their father in their life.
Mrs. Ewing has 9 other children. Mrs. Ewing must be passionate about procreation and intentional about being fruitful and multiplying. The good thing is they all have their father in their life, but for Miss Casey, she has had to bond with the name of the man on her birth certificate and not meet him physically. She definitely needed more from Mrs. Ewing. More drama is yet to unfold.
And Miss Casey, when did you hear that Mr. Edwards could possibly be your father?
Mr. Edwards had inboxed me and we had spoke. I had spoke with his youngest child and he was like, you sound like me. I seen a picture of you and my dad in St. Louis with my sister, which is his daughter.
It all started from an inbox from Mr. Edward. It was not so bad trying to align siblings and making them know each other. It's a good thing to keep the family together. But Mrs. Ewing, Mr. Edward is Miss Casey's older sister's dad. Oh, you do have some explaining to do here. They all look alike too. Are you trying to keep the light in the tunnel rather than out of the tunnel?
It's like the hair stands up on my back. She looks so much like my family. She's got everything that my mom had, you know, what my mom looked like. I got 6 other daughters, and my youngest daughter, I mean, if you look at her and look at her, you would do.
They look very similar, you
Yes,
say?
yes, ma'am, they look.
Using physical resemblance to be the main criterion for concluding she is your daughter? You have 6 daughters and the last one resembles Miss Casey. Is this a good lead for her being your daughter? What about the biological aspect? Miss Casey only wants to know who her father truly is. She does not want to keep feeding on speculation and unreal tales.
To speak to him, what would you have said?
It would be like a dream come true. Like what anybody would love to meet Jesus, I would love to meet him. It would be amazing. I would just ask him a lot of questions like, what happened? Why did you leave? Is it something that she said to you or did to you to make you leave me and not want to be in my life?
Getting so close to the desired end, only to realize said end did not exist, is enough emotional pain. Mrs. Casey did some investigation that resulted in getting the contact of her so-called father, seeking to ask a lot of questions that she felt Ms. Ewing could not have answered appropriately. Why did you leave? Was it because of what she said or what she did? But the only reply she got was the disconnected line.
Using to me growing up not knowing where I'm from, who I came from, but her.
Well, Miss Casey.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been told for over 25 years that Otis Hawkins, the man you believe to be your father, was dead.
Yes, ma'am.
But he's alive.
Miss Ewing has made it seem like she is the second woman to defile the laws of science after Mary, the mother of Jesus. According to Miss Casey, both men are African American and her mom is Caucasian. So how come she looks Mexican? Ms. Ewing, the court has also found out that Mr. Hawkins is not dead. He is indeed alive. So let your explanation begin.
Oh my God, that is me. Oh, I got
That's
this picture.
you.
My sister lost it. I have this picture. Look at you, baby. This is the picture I had. My teddy bear, my best. I love that bunny. Mr. Snuggles was his name. I used to always take that bunny with me everywhere I go.
And Mr. Hawkins, thank you, sir, for joining us today.
Oh, what an emotional moment. This reunion is super emotional. Turns out Mr. Hawkins is truly alive and he is here to claim his daughter. Pictures give birth to good memories. That warm embrace must have soothed Ms. Casey and wiped off all the 25 years of unanswered questions. The void is slowly being filled. Ms. Ewing, you still have questions to answer though? Will the paternity test be the icing on Ms. Casey's cake?
You remember the relationship with her mother?
Yes.
Tell me about that relationship.
It was pretty good at first, and it just, after some years, it just went bad. When I was overseas when Lakana was born, and that was, when I got back, she was like about maybe 2 or 3 months.
What could have caused the lovely relationship between Ms. Ewing and Mr. Hawkins to nosedive? Could it be that they weren't just meant for each other? Well, Casey was born, and she had to pay the emotional price by not knowing or meeting her dad for 27 years. There must be a reason why this is so, but in the end, the DNA test results should come to her rescue.
Did you ever doubt LaConda was yours?
No, no ma'am. She mine. She mine.
I don't need a Laconda.
They just asked me last weekend when I buried my mother. And on her obituary, 25 grandchildren, and you one of them 25 grandchildren.
Mr. Hawkins has come with a very strong belief that Miss Casey is his child. In fact, he adds that she is one of his mom's 25 grandchildren. On the other side of the box sits Mr. Edwards with a very strong belief that Miss Casey has so much physical resemblance with him and his daughters, at least one of them. Ms. Ewing is the culprit of this dilemma. Who is going to be the heroic father?
Is the father of Ms. Casey. Mr. Edwards, you are not her father. Mr. Hawkins, you are not her father.
The results are out, and none of these two men is the father. Great time for Miss Ewing to give some explanation. Thinking she fed Miss Casey a lie for more than 25 years about her father being killed speaks a lot of volume about her escapades. She definitely was hiding the truth and protecting her own selfish interest. Now let's see the reactions.
Miss Ewing, do you know who her father is?
Yeah, I do.
And it's
his brother.
Mr. Hawkins' brother?
Whoa, didn't see that coming.
So you were sleeping with him and his brother
He
at
was
the
gone.
same time?
No, not at the same time. He was gone. He was out to sea, and I had slept with his brother twice, and I told his brother I couldn't do this no more.
Miss Brewington, you are here to prove your 3-year-old son Giovanni is Mr. Lee's biological child, and you claim Mr. Lee has been a father to your son since the day he was born and is denying paternity because he wants to avoid paying child support. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee, however, says that Giovanni is not his son, and he is here to prove that he is 100% not the father. He claims that Ms. Brewington is a liar, and that he knew she was lying from day one. Well, Mr. Lee, if you knew the woman was lying and bent on taking all your money, why did you not speak up sooner? Why now? You've had quite a while to bring all of this up, so why now?
We were actually working on our relationship. We already have a child from a previous situation. We got back together. We're working on us. So when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't think it was gonna be a shock or a surprise or anything like that.
And you say you know 100% you're not the biological father of Giovanni.
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Oh, Mr. Lee, what are you doing? Are you trying to play the court? What does this man mean? Saying they were not having any intercourse, they were not together, whereas they were living in the same house and sleeping on the same bed. Oh, are you running a brothel in your household, Mr. Lee? Is that what is going on here?
Okay, I found out that I was pregnant. I actually went to the doctor to just re-up on my birth control. They said, oh, you actually missed your last shot. I didn't even realize it. They said that they had to do a pregnancy test before they could go ahead with the birth control. So I went ahead, they did a pregnancy test. It came up positive.
Now, Ms. Brewington is here calling Giovanni their love baby, and Mr. Lee keeps fervently denying it. It's basically a back and forth between the two. One person is lying, and one person is speaking the truth. Right now, Ms. Brewington is the only one with receipts, as she's pulling out dates and making it rain. We need more to work with here, Mr. Lee. She's lying is simply not going to cut it.
Date's on the 2nd of February.
My birthday was on the 1st of February.
2nd.
My birthday is on the, how you gonna tell me what day I was born? I was born on the 1st of February.
He said it's the 2nd.
Yeah, look, it's close. It's the same.
He around there just like he was around. Exactly. See, exactly.
Okay, that's it. Now he does not know her birthday too? You have been in a committed relationship with this woman, and you have at least one child together. Your credibility keeps dwindling with every passing second, Mr. Lee. It really just feels like these two were in a separate relationship because each story from the other's mouth simply does not seem to tally.
He was telling people I was just getting fat. He was like, she just eats a lot of fast food. Everybody was rubbing, my friends were rubbing my stomach. I'm showing ultrasound to people. He's like, don't believe her, she's just fat. The entire time. I'm talking about, I'm going into labor. He's like, no, you're not.
What kind of denial is this?
Whoa, now this is one card that does not get used on paternity court often. Imagine being visibly pregnant, but your partner keeps telling people that you're simply fat. To make things even worse than they are, this man kept this up until she was in labor. That's 9 months. While Ms. Brewington was visibly pregnant with Giovanni, Mr. Lee was pregnant with his own baby too. This man was pregnant with guilt for all those months.
The birth certificate, right?
Yes, I did.
If you had all this denial and you say she eat fast food and this isn't even a pregnancy, but then you get there and execute a birth certificate?
It was the right thing at that moment. We already had a previous child, like I said, so...
You just go around signing birth certificates.
She definitely did, Judge. Ms. Brewington said everything that everyone was thinking, and then some. At this point, Mr. Lee, there is no amount of words this man could possibly have to say that would beat any evidence that has been provided by Ms. Brewington. Only thing that would save Mr. Lee from being seen as a complete psychopath is the DNA results supporting him not being the father.
He told me that she knows
My friend
who's the
told
father.
him that because she wanted to sleep with him.
I'm still talking.
I actually caught them sleeping together.
What? So that's why you think this person was just telling him these lies?
Because it was shade the whole.
Oh, so he was cheating on her too? With one of her best friends. Isn't that something? That's what happens when you sleep with your girlfriend's close friends, Mr. Lee. They don't tend to tell you good things about said girlfriend. He kept believing everything this girl told him, no questions asked. Now Ms. Brewington caught them having sex too. What an ordeal.
She told me herself I wasn't the father, so.
I told him that in anger, Your Honor.
Multiple times.
So you know when you ring that bell, you can't unring it. That is a statement you can't take back.
But he looked exactly like him.
Now here's the popular paternity court card. Ms. Brewington digs up the semblance card and has her boyfriend's baby picture and Giovanni's picture side by side. Oh, Mrs. Brewington, that doesn't mean anything really. In addition, you can't keep telling a man that he is not the father of your baby, whether it's during an argument or not, and not expect him to believe that, especially with Mr. Lee, who believed that even before you mentioned it.
He knows to be his dad.
Father.
Yes, he calls me daddy.
Calls you daddy.
Yeah.
With all of that,
Yes.
you still don't believe he's your biological son.
No.
Your Honor, that is his baby. And I can't wait, because the devil is a liar and this is Lucifer, so stop. No.
Oh, look at that sweet child. If this man sticks to his word, saying that he is not the biological father of Giovanni, just what exactly is to happen to that bond between them as it is? How is he able to keep having these thoughts and still be so fatherly to Giovanni? What have you been doing, Mr. Lee? Now, the major question is how Giovanni is supposed to come around from that. Ms. Brewington, however, keeps dropping lines like she raps for a side hustle. Let's come back to these two.
3 years old, a beautiful baby like that, and consistently have the man you believe to be his father deny him, have to deal with all of this drama. I knew behind all of the laughter and all of this.
Right. It's not right. You put me through that. It's not at all. I really do care
Look,
about
if you don't want that, you should keep your legs closed. That's all it is.
Whoa, that was a really low blow. Mr. Lee, you do realize that if this woman had her legs closed, that means she would not be sleeping with anyone for sure, and that includes you. So, what are we saying here? Selective leg closure, or what exactly, Mr. Lee? Next time, maybe you can suggest that she closes said legs while you're busy in between them. Maybe then, you'd have a point. Look at that. Let's get to the results.
Mr. Lee, you are not the father.
Told y'all.
Hold up.
I already knew it. I told you.
Ms. McKinney walked into court with one goal, to prove that Mr. Davis was her father. But before the truth came out, this case was about to take some wild turns. Get ready for a roller coaster.
Ms. McKinney, you are here to prove to the defendant, Mr. Davis, that he is your biological father. You say after your mother's tragic death and 2 recent medical scares of your own, today's results have become more important than ever. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, let's take one giant deep breath and a step back. Her parents' so-called love story? More like a jigsaw puzzle missing half the pieces. They got married, but let's be real, that marriage barely made it past the opening credits.
2015 with ovarian cancer, I felt the need that I need to find out who my children's grandparents are. So if I passed away, I just want them to have a family there. My mother told me that her ex-husband was Michael Davis. The defendant is my father.
And just when you think you've heard it all, boom! Mr. Davis spills details about his wedding day disaster. One minute he's saying, I do. The next, he's hit with a reality check that changes everything.
Mr. Davis, you were married to Ms. McKinney's mother how long?
1 day. Well, I was with her for 1 day.
What?
Yes.
Y'all lived together.
You were married for 1 day.
But they lived
were together.
together.
Tell the court what happened. What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, the day we got married, I took off and we got married and I had to go back to work.
Fast forward, and Ms. McKinney finally meets the man she believes is her father. For a while, it feels like a perfect fit, but just as quickly as they connect, things take a sharp left turn.
I was 18. I was dating a young man, and one night he asked me, we were talking about family. He was like, let me see your birth certificate. I let him see mine. And he looked at me and was like, I know your mama and your dad. I was like, oh, I don't know my father. I never met him.
Desperate for proof, she brings out photos, hoping to find even the slightest resemblance. With no father in sight, her grandmother steps up as her rock.
I mean, his daughter felt like I looked just like them. I felt like I met my dad, like everything erased.
Tell the court who's in these pictures. I see you.
Yes.
And that's Mr. Davis's other daughter. And when you saw that picture, you felt like I looked just like her.
But Mr. Davis, he wasn't convinced. He claimed people had planted the idea in her head, and in a shocking twist, he believed another man was her real father.
Did he also believe, or were you ever told that the other man could also be your biological father?
No, I put that in my head. Roger never told me that. It's always been Michael Anthony Davis is your father from everybody. Even other men that's supposed to be the father, they always said Michael Anthony Davis is your father.
Then comes Mr. Williams, the man who had been there all along. His testimony, absolutely jaw-dropping. And just when you think the tension couldn't rise any higher, Mr. Davis's wife jumps in. The courtroom was on fire.
I was been there ever since she was born. I was there in the delivery room with her mother.
Did you believe you were her biological father? What did her mom tell you about her pregnancy?
Well, after we'd been together, and then maybe about 6 months into the relationship, she told me she was pregnant.
After years of confusion and family chaos, Ms. McKinney deserved the truth. Judge Lauren Lake held the answer, and now it was time to uncover the final verdict. Nothing was ever going to be the same anymore.
Mr. Williams, you are not her father. Mr. Davis, you are not the father.
This particular case was #loco. Cheating on your spouse on Valentine's Day is crazy. Quite callous, right? But that's exactly what's on trial today in paternity court. A young couple stands before Judge Lauren, ready to uncover the truth about their child's paternity. But here's the kicker. No matter what the DNA results say, their marriage is already doomed. Buckle up, because this case is pure chaos.
Mr. Fetters, you say you're in the midst of a divorce because your soon-to-be ex-wife is a serial adulterer who even cheated on you on Valentine's Day, which you believe resulted in the birth of her 9-month-old son, Corbin.
Yes, Your Honor.
The million-dollar question, who betrayed who? Ms. Fetters has no doubt in her mind. Her husband is anything but a devoted partner or a responsible father, yet she swears he's her baby's biological father, even though she admits to some questionable choices. One thing's for sure, this courtroom drama is about to take some wild turns.
Ms. Fetters, you say your husband is an irresponsible crybaby who can't keep a job, stay faithful, or please a woman.
Yes, Your
While
Honor.
you admit to making some mistake, you say Mr. Fetters is undoubtedly Corbin's biological father.
Now, why is Mr. Fetters so convinced his wife is a serial cheater? His reasons will leave you speechless. But wait, something doesn't add up. If she was really as unfaithful as he claims, why did he still walk down the aisle with her? Either he's twisting the truth, or he's just hopelessly in love.
It all began when we first met at a water bowl. I thought I had met her at love at first sight. Up until the 6-month mark, she had informed me that she had actually slept with my family member.
6 months into your relationship, your girlfriend sleeps with your family member.
Yes.
Ms. Fetters fires back, insisting that her husband's accusations aren't entirely accurate, but then, bam, she drops a bombshell. She did cheat on him. The twist? She claims she came clean right after. Hold on, what?
So, Ms. Fetters, did you sleep with the family member?
No, I did not. The family member and himself lack in a department, so I did not finish the duty. Nothing happened.
Oh!
He just thinks something happens. He has no hard facts or information, and when I do sleep with someone else,
And just when you think this story can't get any messier, it does. Ms. Fetters shocked everyone when she asked for a divorce after giving birth. Why? Her reason will leave you absolutely floored. She believes he's lacking in a department that's very important to her. Can you guess what it is?
It's come as when he was conceived, I had to pry the information as to why she was wanting to leave me in the first place, and come to find out she had actually slept her ex-husband, Justin. And this was on this is the day before Valentine's at midnight. We went to go see 50 Shades of Grey. We had a wonderful night.
Judge Lauren is left speechless as Ms. Fetters reveals the jaw-dropping truth. After a sweet romantic movie date with her husband, she left that same night and to sleep with her ex-husband. This isn't just reality TV drama. This is next-level betrayal.
I'm going to be with my ex-husband.
No.
That is what I said. And he knows.
Before you left?
Before I left.
She did not, Your Honor.
So wait, you go to the movies and have a good date night, and by the end, you're in the bed with your ex-husband?
Yeah, he didn't want...
Mr. Fetters isn't buying her excuses and stands firm, insisting he's always been faithful. But why is Ms. Fetters throwing out these accusations with no proof? Is she trying to make herself look better, or is she just digging her own grave? Either way, no DNA test result is going to save this marriage.
You have sex with other women, but you won't have sex with your wife?
She has no factual proof. I've never slept with any other women outside of our relationship.
When did she come back?
She contacted me at 7:30 in the morning to let me know where she was at. So I came there with our 2 children at the time, and she had told me that she didn't want to be with me.
Here's where things get even crazier. Ms. Fetters admits to sleeping with her ex, but she still believes Mr. Fetters is the father. But seriously, how does he even look at her after what she did?
I told him that I spent the night with him.
Was it protected sex?
Nope.
He actually didn't completely finish.
Okay, so he did not finish the act.
Correct.
And you admitted this to your husband.
Correct.
But wait, there's more. Now we're talking about the window of conception. If this story was a movie, it'd be called 50 Shades of Disaster. Not only were the characters going crazy, they wanted the court to join in on its unhinged form.
How soon after this incident did you find out you were pregnant?
I found out, I would say, just like maybe a month later, a month and a half, I found out. And the conception date was between February 11th to February 14th.
To back up her claim, Ms. Fetters throws out one last shocking detail about the man she was with. But let's not forget, she had unprotected sex with her ex-husband, then hours later got intimate with Mr. Fetters. That means her baby has 2 potential fathers.
Clear something up for you.
She goes to somebody else to do the same
My
thing.
marriage with him ended because he can't have children. A doctor told him his sperm count is too low to conceive.
Did the doctor tell him he can't have it?
Yes, it's a very low chance that he can have any children. That's why I wanted
Very
to start
low is different than can.
At this point, we've heard enough of the accusations and denials. The only thing left? The DNA test results. But let's be real, no matter what they say, this marriage is over. The level of drama in this relationship is beyond repair.
The biological father is Mr. Fetters. You are the father, sir.
I'm very, very happy. I have words, can't even describe the fact that I'm glad that he is mine.
This courtroom showdown had all the makings of an over-dramatized movie plot. Whitman versus Anderson and Mapson was the kind of case that had people gasping one minute and shaking their heads the next. You might want to brace your mind for this one. Ms. Whitman was desperate to establish paternity for her baby, hoping it would also salvage her fragile relationship. Meanwhile, Mr. Anderson was adamant he was not the father. Yes, they had been together, but she had other men in the picture.
Ms. Whitman, the man you claim you love is standing in our courtroom hallway.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you confess you cheated on him with the defendant.
That's right, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Anderson. So today you're here to determine the paternity of your 1-month-old daughter, Michaela, in hopes of saving your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
The plot thickened when Whitman revealed how she met Mr. Mitchell. Their romance began on a bus, and things quickly escalated. But just 2 months in, she crossed paths with Anderson. Their friendship took a messy turn when she suspected Mitchell was cheating. Her response? Having an affair with Anderson. He, however, wasn't losing any sleep over her claims. He found the idea of being the father ridiculous, and for a good reason.
So, Ms. Whitman, you were in a relationship with Mr. Matt.
Yes, we were in a relationship.
Then you ended up cheating on him with Mr. Anderson.
That's right, Your Honor.
So now explain.
Well, me and Mr. Mitchell met at a bus station when I was coming from Chicago to Arkansas.
Anderson had seen Whitman getting suspiciously close to one of his relatives, his own cousin. Not only had this man stayed with Whitman for a whole week, but Anderson was also convinced they had been more than just friends. Whitman denied it all.
I have doubts because I know she was sleeping with other men besides me.
Specifically, how do you know that?
Because I've seen them up there, Your Honor.
Up where?
Me, for one.
No, I need details. This is court. I need details. I need facts.
Things got even more annoying, as she initially sent her pregnancy test results to both Anderson and Mapson, but later changed her stance. That alone raised major red flags.
Okay.
You say...
I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, you say you saw them with your own eyes.
Yeah.
Explain
yes.
to the court.
Look, this is a small town. It's a small town. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows who drives what. This particular person I know stayed with her a week.
Enter Mr. Mapson, the supposed love of Whitman's life. When asked if he suspected infidelity, he admitted he had doubts. Their long-distance relationship made trust difficult. At one point, he wanted to be at the hospital for the birth, but held back, unsure if the baby was his.
Jerome, I think it's time we talk to Mr. Mapson. Please escort him in.
Right, come on with me. Have you go up to the witness stand next to the judge?
Meanwhile, Whitman felt left behind and discarded, dealing with the pregnancy alone as Mapson kept making empty promises. She described how she endured the entire pregnancy without either man by her side.
Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Mapson. So we're here, of course, discussing the paternity as it relates to beautiful Michaela. And we understand Ms. Whitman has testified that she was in a relationship with you at the time the child was conceived.
Yes.
Mapson had distanced himself, and Anderson had completely cut her off, blocking her on all social media and even her phone. Anderson, however, was furious that Whitman publicly claimed he was the father, knowing full well she had other partners. That accusation alone cost him his own relationship.
I went through the whole birth alone, the whole 9 months. He even stopped talking to me, and I couldn't get a hold of Mr. Anderson because he blocked all communication, Facebook, telephone, and he stopped answering the phone for me, Mr.
Anderson admitted he had doubts from the start and even suggested a DNA test, but when it came to splitting the cost, Whitman refused to contribute. This led to yet another heated argument, one that even had Judge Lake raising her eyebrows.
Did you pursue a DNA test at all? Did you
Yes.
say, I want to have a paternity test?
Yes, I did.
What happened?
And we argued about that.
What's the argument? She admitted she didn't know.
He wanted me to pay half of DNA test, but Mr. Mapson also wanted me to pay half. I wasn't finna pay half for both people.
Meanwhile, Mapson tried to connect with the baby the only way he could, by comparing the child's features to his own family members. Whitman, however, was clinging to hope. If Mapson wasn't the father, her relationship with him would be over.
Do you all think she looks like me?
Correct.
And are you all in a relationship?
No, we're not, because we're trying to get the results of this, and then maybe we could move forward.
The emotional toll of this case was undeniable. Anderson finally broke down in court, overwhelmed by the stress and uncertainty. While he wanted what was best for the child, Whitman had her own agenda, keeping Mapson in her life.
You seem like you feel emotional right now, Mr. Anderson. What do you feel?
I've been through so much. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know what I went through before I got here.
What are you feeling now?
I'm feeling pain.
Because this situation really bothers you.
This situation has affected my life, you know. My baby mama.
And then the moment of truth. Judge Lake held the DNA results in her hands. The tension in the courtroom was unbearable. The next words out of her mouth would change everything.
Is the biological father of 1-month-old Michaela. It has been determined by this court, Mr. Anderson, you are not her father.
Thank you, Jesus. I knew it. I knew it all the time. All that stuff you've done to me.
We have another result. Mr. Mapson, you are her father.
Crow stormed into paternity court, determined to prove her late son, Jay, fathered her child, Thomas. But Jay's mother, Reinhardt, wasn't having it. To her, Crow's claims were nothing but a cash grab. And trust me, this was just the tip of the iceberg.
Miss Crow, you have summoned the defendant to court to prove that her deceased son, J.C. Turner, fathered your 2-year-old son, Thomas. You want Thomas to know who his father is, and you say that Ms. Reinhardt has done everything she can to sabotage your efforts. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Crow accused Reinhardt of blocking every attempt to confirm Thomas's paternity. Reinhardt clapped back, saying Crow used Jay for money and was now after his death benefits. But for Crow, this wasn't about cash. It was about Thomas knowing his roots, wondering who's telling the truth.
Used your son for money when he was alive, and now is trying to claim him as her son's father only to get death benefits. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Crow's tearful testimony moved the courtroom. She insisted Jay knew about Thomas but never got the chance to be a father. Reinhardt wasn't moved. She dropped a bombshell. The timeline of Thomas's birth didn't add up.
And to this point, he doesn't have any real knowledge of his father. You have not talked to him about his father, or have you?
I have.
You have?
Actually, when my son was first born and he was, just a few months old,
Reinhardt was convinced her son would have told her if he had a child. This is the equivalent of parents saying, I know my child. They usually, in fact, do not. But let's see. Meanwhile, Crow described a whirlwind romance with Jay, saying their love led to their son's birth. But then, another shocking twist surfaced.
Looking at that picture,
I understand.
My son and I had a very tight relationship. And Jay would tell me everything when nobody else was around. I knew my son inside and out. And I just don't, as a mother, as a grandmother.
Jay had schizophrenia and the mental capacity of a teenager. Reinhardt questioned whether he even understood what fatherhood meant. But her strangest claim? Thomas didn't resemble her other grandkids.
He'd have believed you if you told him the sky was purple.
Well, that's your own opinion. That's your own opinion.
The mental capacity of a 16-year-old.
And and you know what? He had feelings.
He was schizophrenic.
He had feelings.
He was schizophrenic and he had stress seizures.
Okay. And I took care of him.
And my son,
I didn't leave him because of that.
Mom.
Crow fired back, saying Thomas looked like her side of the family, but Reinhardt insisted Thomas lacked pigeon toes.
I have strong genes.
So, Miss Crow, you say your genes are strong as well. Do you see a resemblance to his dad?
My son, he has a silly sense of humor like Jay. He likes to dance like Jay. And, you know, just right there, you can see it. Like his hair, that is Jay.
A birth trait in their family. The women were at each other's throats. Crow revealed that Jay had lived with her when Thomas was born, but his mental struggles forced her to send him away. She claimed she tried contacting Reinhardt, but Reinhardt denied it ever happened.
To the point in which the baby was born, was JC participating in the birth?
Okay, so me and JC, at the time we were living together, it was March 2015. I have decided to no longer go any further in the relationship because I have 2 other kids, I'm pregnant.
The courtroom was a war zone as both women refused to back down. Then, the moment of truth arrived. The judge read the DNA results, and the revelation shook the entire room. Turns out Reinhardt wasn't being completely honest about why she doubted Thomas's paternity.
The percentage of relatedness between Ms. Reinhardt and Thomas Crow is 99.6%. You are related. That is your grandchild.
The courtroom was about to turn into a storm of secrets and paternity shockers. Buckle up, because this wasn't just another case. It was a full-blown revelation. Mr. Harrington insisted the defendant was trying to trap him with a baby that wasn't his. But oh, trust me, this story was just getting started.
Mr. Harrington, you claim you are not the father of Miss Day's 1-month-old daughter, Nalani Day, and want her to stop pinning her baby on you. You say your sexual relationship with the defendant ended before she got pregnant. Ms. Day, you say you would never attempt to pin a baby on a man without being sure he is the father.
Mr. Harrington came armed with accusations, claiming Ms. Day was handing out fatherhood like a raffle ticket. But she wasn't backing down. She was certain about her child's paternity. And just when you thought it couldn't get wilder, her testimony flipped everything on its head.
Is not the father of my child. I am the Virgin Mary. There's no other possibilities. I have not been messing around with anybody else throughout the time that we were messing around.
So you are 100% positive Mr. Harrington is your child's biological father?
Yes, ma'am.
No.
Imagine walking into a routine MRI appointment and walking out with life-changing news. That's exactly what happened to Ms. Day. Sounds like a scene from a movie, right? Well, reality hit hard when Mr. Harrington pulled out the evidence.
I went to go and take an MRI. I was doing a brain study, went to go and take an MRI. When I went to go take the MRI, before you take it, they have to give you a pregnancy test because it can affect your pregnancy or whatever. So when I went to go and take the pregnancy test, they came back and they told me that I was pregnant.
Anonymous texts, missed periods, and layers of doubt. This case had all the ingredients for a paternity disaster. And just when you thought we hit the peak of confusion, Mr. Harrington took us even deeper into his version of the truth.
That's how I found out. Then I asked my sister, I called her, whatever. I was like, so I heard you was hiding the pregnancy. She was like, Kayla didn't want me to tell you, and she was also saying that you the daddy. And I'm like, how? When she ain't talking to me. So I tried to call her. She not answering the phone.
Something wasn't adding up. Ms. Day started off confident, but you could see her certainty start to crumble. The more details surfaced, the messier it got. But before we dig deeper, who was this mysterious second guy?
I probably told his sister before I told him, but even if it was something that I did not tell him, it was only a week, probably like a week span of time.
Yeah, you sound right.
And how do I sound?
Like
somebody telling the truth,
like you're trying to, like what you do all the time. You try to work around a lie.
Despite all his suspicions, Mr. Harrington still showed up at the hospital when the baby was born. But now it was time to hear from the defendant's witness. And let's just say, her version of events sent this case spiraling in a whole new direction.
You showed up for the birth as the daddy?
No,
yes,
I didn't even sign a birth certificate. How?
You didn't sign a birth certificate, but you wanted to give her your last name?
If it's mine. If it's mine. I said, if you're sure that it's my child, give her my last name.
No, you did not.
I did say that.
Are you going to give her my last name?
And so hold on, let's get some order.
And then came Mr. Harrington's now infamous chauffeur metaphor. Oh, but he wasn't done. He even brought an exhibit to back up his claims. Buckle up, because the next part, a timeline that changed everything.
You're denying this baby because you have a new girlfriend. What is your doubt?
I wasn't even finishing her, you know. I wasn't finishing. We was doing, I was like a chauffeur. I was in and out, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why.
You didn't complete the sexual act, so you don't feel like you could have impregnated her.
And I'm gonna tell you, because the conception date.
So you're saying her conception date is wrong?
It isn't right because I went.
Now this was some next level detective work. The numbers were lining up and things were finally making sense. But Ms. Day? Oh, she wasn't having any of it. She shot back with full force. Was it enough to shake the case? Or was it a desperate attempt at grasping straws to prevent oneself from falling?
Even admitted that that was during the time when he was still completing the sexual act.
No, I wasn't completing it in October.
You wasn't?
I wasn't.
You wasn't?
I wasn't.
You wasn't. Are you serious?
I know what
no,
I was
you
doing.
obviously don't.
Mr. Harrington, you can step back over to the
I know
podium.
what I was doing. How you gonna
No,
tell
you don't
How
know
you
what
gonna
you
tell
was
me what I was doing?
apparently.
Okay.
Because I know. I was the one who ended up pregnant from your actions.
Okay.
Well, well, well. Ms. Day was running out of options. Her statements were getting shakier, and that final attempt to clean up the mess, total backfire. You could almost see the regret creeping in.
It cannot. I know that could be only one other person.
You don't know. You don't know.
No, I do.
Fascinating testimony, Ms. Day. We've been waiting all day for this.
No, I think people are getting confused of what I'm trying to say.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. After all the drama, all the twists, and all the bombshells, it was time for Judge Lake to reveal the truth. So, who was the father?
Mr. Harrington, you are not the father.
What? Told you,
Are
bro.
you serious?
Told you. Can I Millie Rock?
No, no, you can't.
Sorry, my bad.
No, you
I'm sorry.
can't. You know why?
This ain't
Because
mine.
Uh,
you have another child with her.
Matlock versus Monroe. If there were ever a case fueled by shamelessness, disrespect, and pure chaos, this is it. Mr. Matlock was in court for one reason. He had serious doubts about the paternity of Ms. Monroe's child. And can you blame him? Ms. Monroe had the audacity to invite her ex-lover into their home while Matlock was away on business.
Mr. Matlock,
Yes, ma'am.
you say that a few years back you were suddenly called away on family business.
Yes,
While
Your Honor.
absent, you claim the defendant, Ms. Monroe, invited her former lover to move into your family home.
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Upon your return, you say you forgave her and resumed your sexual relationship.
Yes, Your Honor.
But hold up, Ms. Monroe had her own set of doubts and a reason for what she did. Meanwhile, Mr. Matlock had something to say about his long absence from home. Was this the strangest arrangement ever? You be the judge.
You admit that you have serious doubts about the paternity of your child as well. You argue that when Mr. Matlock left on family business, he stopped answering your phone calls and texts for an entire month.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's not correct.
In your defense, you say you believed he was never coming back again.
Yes, Your Honor.
According to Mr. Matlock, he never got a single call from Ms. Monroe, though she insists she tried. He wanted to see his son, but without Ms. Monroe in the picture. And when she hinted that he might have had affairs of his own, let's just say he wasn't exactly concerned. Tension hit an all-time high. No love lost between these two.
So, Mr. Matlock, were you getting phone calls from Ms. Monroe and not answering?
No, Your Honor, I wasn't. I would talk to her when I called her, but I don't feel like when I'm spending time with my son, I should have to drop spending time with my son to call her every waking minute.
If I'm your
'cause
girlfriend, you
she's
should care.
jealous about
You
she
should
got
care.
jealousy issues thinking I'm
Then bam, Ms. Monroe dropped a shocking revelation. She tried over and over to reach Matlock, and when that failed, she made an insane choice and moved her ex into their home. But the real tea? Before Matlock even came back, she and her ex had already settled their differences. What?
Ms. Monroe, when he went out of town, did he voluntarily call you at all while he was gone?
Lies.
Maybe
Not one call.
Maybe 2 or 3 times, like the whole time he was gone.
Okay, so 2 or 3 times you did speak to him.
Yeah.
One phone call changed everything. Matlock got the news of Ms. Monroe's pregnancy, but not from her. Oh no! The call came from a completely unexpected source. And as if that wasn't enough, Ms. Monroe straight up told him the baby wasn't his. No wonder he vanished from their lives.
It was going good for about a month and a half. I get a phone call from my sister. What's up?
You ain't who
May
you
pregnant.
pretended to be.
Whoa, what you mean May pregnant? I just talked to her on the phone.
I told you that.
You didn't tell me that. You told me that after I talked to my sister and you told my sister that you were pregnant.
Ms. Monroe explained why she initially ruled Matlock out as the father, and honestly, it made sense. But Matlock, he wasn't buying it. In fact, he believed anyone, including court clerk Jerome, could be the father. Outrageous and downright scandalous.
Okay. You assumed he may not be the father based upon the fact it had been 18 months and you hadn't gotten pregnant.
Yeah, and within that little amount of time, I got pregnant.
But is the truth that you really didn't know who the child's father was?
Exactly.
It actually, when I had my 5-year-old, she looked just like my other one.
And then came the coldest part. Matlock didn't even know the baby had been born. He found out through a friend, in the most heartless way imaginable. To make matters worse, someone else was with Ms. Monroe in the hospital. And just when you thought it couldn't get messier, word got to Matlock that Monroe had been with yet another man, while he was the one paying child support. Talk about a shady situation.
So the point is that you have doubt. Do you know for certain or you just doubt?
Once you say you are not the father to a man, that baby ain't mine no more. I didn't hear from her.
But here's the twist. Matlock missed his court date, the one where paternity was supposed to be established. And just like that, bam! He was legally declared the father and slapped with mandatory child support. Now he was in court, laying out how this mess had wrecked his life. Ms. Monroe, of course, had a snide remark ready.
Said, hey, it's not your baby. And would have just kept it real and meant, hey, it's a possibility. We could have worked on it, and we could have been still probably been together.
No, I told your sister that.
Out of your mouth, you said you are not the father.
No,
did you not say you are not the father?
Mr. Matlock.
Then the court called in a witness, Matlock's relative, and things escalated fast. It was an all-out war between the women, each trying to prove their point. The judge had to step in, gavel in hand, to restore order. Finally, the court pulled out a timeline to break down the possible conception dates.
You're working triple shifts.
I'm killing myself.
Trying to make sure you're paying the child
Trying
support.
to find a second job right now. Not only to pay child support, but make sure Christmas, birthday, school time, my son got what he needs.
Emotions were at a breaking point. Everyone was exhausted. There was only one way to end this madness: the paternity results. And when they came in, oh, Ms. Monroe couldn't handle the truth. She stormed out, sobbing uncontrollably, completely undone by the verdict. One thing was certain: nothing was ever going to be the same.
Mr. Matlock, the wait is over. You are not.
I knew it. Don't find your baby daddy. Put somebody else on child support. I want my money back from the beginning. Trifling. Knew it. I knew it.
Jerome, would you go check on Ms. Monroe and see if we can escort her back in the courtroom?
All my money back.
These DNA tests definitely turned the courts upside down with its mind-blowing results. If you really love this video, please like the video and subscribe to our channel by tapping the bell and thumbs up button on your screen. See you at the next video.